MicroStrategy's Executive Chairman, Michael Saylor. You know, Michael, I'm going to start calling you Last Laugh Sailor because you always seem to get the last laugh. Even with the pullback, you put out a chart that's really amazing. MicroStrategy is outperforming everything since you adopted it as a strategy. It's crushed everything. Look at the green arrow. It's crushed everything. So I know you feel vindicated, but there's more, right?
Look, Bitcoin is volatile, but volatility is a signal of high energy. You know, rivers, waterfalls, fires, and windstorms are volatile. They just contain energy that we can harness. And so this digital asset is creating tens of billions of dollars of credit and liquidity at all times for everybody everywhere in the world. And it's attracting massive amounts of capital, and that's what's driving that superior performance. MicroStrategy is just levering the most powerful idea in the world right now.
Yeah, but when you decided to go down this route, we've had many conversations. It was really nuts. And even now, critics, I heard folks talking about it just in the last couple, days. Oh, it was supposed to be sort of when the world's going to hell in a handbasket, it was supposed to be a safe haven, and it's not. What do you tell folks who still aren't convinced, in part because it's not a safe haven per se?
What I say is Bitcoin's a solution to everybody's problem. Investors are worried about regulation, taxes, torts, and antitrust. Economists are worried about the deficit and the debt. Individuals want to deal with inflation, and they're worried about opportunity. Companies can't compete with megacorps. Those who understand Bitcoin buy Bitcoin. Those who don't criticize Bitcoin. With Bitcoin, individuals can outrun the inflation, investors can beat the market, corporations can outgrow the competition, and countries can revitalize their economies and boost their currencies by tapping into digital capital.
I want to talk about what's next from Washington, D.C.'s vantage point, because one of the things I've always been afraid of is that D.C. at some point would push back, just like all these countries that are dependent on fiat currency. And so you've got President Trump, former President Trump, who's obviously a supporter. Also, Senator Lummis, she introduced a proposal for a strategic Bitcoin reserve. Explain to us what it means and why it would be so important for our nation.
All great empires are built on productive property that you can defend. And the Lummis bill is our Louisiana moment. There was a time when everybody moved to the New World, and buying the New World, like Louisiana or Alaska, was a good idea. What we have right now is a race to own cyberspace. The future is digital. Bitcoin is digital. If you're worried about the U.S. dollar as the reserve currency, what are people going to buy when they sell the dollar? They're going to buy Bitcoin. And so you should go buy the Bitcoin and wait, because hundreds of trillions of dollars of capital from all around the world are going to flow into cyberspace to the Bitcoin network.
On the other side, you've got Senator Warren, who I just read is building an army to take down Bitcoin. If Kamala Harris wins, it looks like this time around D.C. will go to war. Have you had a chance to speak to anyone in her camp?
I've spoken to people on both sides of the aisle, and I think that the more progressive politicians realize that there's a digital transformation in finance. BlackRock, Morgan Stanley, and Fidelity are illustrating it with their actions. Crypto and Bitcoin is going to drive outcomes in November, and you see people on both sides of the aisle that get it. And on Main Street, companies need this kind of digital capital if they're going to compete in a modern digital era.
Already seen happen. The unemployment rate is up. It's been rising for 5 of the last 6 months, and core inflation's been coming in below expected for the last 2 months. And what's the Fed doing? Oh, we have time. We can wait. We just need a little bit more data. I mean, to me, it's a little bit ridiculous. So I do think they're kind of like holding on to this higher for longer a bit past the expiration date.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're heading to Cash App. And guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. Now we have Michael Saylor says that Bitcoin is the solution for inflation, done fiat to corporations. And why is he saying that? Because he knows all about the fourth industrial revolution, the machine takeover. And yes, guys, the Fed held rates high for longer which already destroyed the economy. They printed 80% of all money in existence within 2 years. And now we're hearing the truth come out of the mainstream media. And when this happens, that's when you know you're ready for a crisis. Because remember, they always push one side of the narrative. The same way if you're in a relationship, friendship, or anything happens, that person wants to push a narrative, so therefore you see their side. And that's the reason why the Hegelian dialectic works so great, because they give you both sides, but then they push their agenda. And because they own the mainstream media, they're going to be the loudest. And those who are conscious always ask questions. They want to know why. And all these distractions are going on, so therefore they can bring in AI. We have JP Morgan bringing in their AI assistant, and we're seeing all the big banks and big corporations bringing in artificial intelligence to team up with the employees. And I'm an old man, and I remember when you had all these jobs bringing in people overseas, and the American workers were training them, and then your next thing you know, they were being replaced. But this time, guys, AI learns a whole lot quicker. They're going to be able to replace humanity a whole lot faster. Remember, these repetitive jobs is nothing but an algorithm. They can easily do them. And like I stated, these machines are going to get smarter and smarter. They're pulling from all of this data, and they are going to be able to know you better than you know yourself. And before they can bring in the machines, we have to have that crisis, that black swan, which is going to cause small and medium-sized banks to collapse, which is going to cause small and medium-sized businesses to collapse, which is going to cause mass layoffs. We saw it in the stock market. We had only 7 stocks get all the money, and we had small caps basically went nowhere. And remember, in the NWO book, I tell you, these corporations, these big banks are going to now be your government if the sheep don't wake up. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Out of CNBC.com this morning, JP Morgan giving its employee an AI assistant powered by OpenAI. Join us right now to discuss that. Husan is here, CNBC banking reporter. What's going on?
Hey, Andrew, it's great to be with you. So you recall back in April, JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon said that, generative AI was, in his opinion, going to be as potentially significant as the advent of things like electricity and the internet. And that it would ultimately be sort of a coach sitting on every employee's desk, sort of helping them out, helping them write emails, generate reports, do research, things like that. And now we have an idea of what he was really talking about. So they rolled out to about 60,000 employees, and ultimately, I believe, hope to have it really ubiquitous within the bank, a program called LLM Suite. And LLM Suite is essentially their front end, their wrapper, their portal into large language models of OpenAI, which is the LLM behind ChatGPT, and ultimately will be the LLM behind several other models, will be a portal to several other models of LLMs. And so this is essentially going to be sitting on JP Morgan's employees' desks, and it's going to be helping them do cognitive tasks. And it's really kind of a surprising advent for this technology, Andrew.
Well, Paramount's results, Kelly, in its announcement that it's cutting 15% of its staff speaks to media's struggles right now. Now, Paramount shares gaining on surprise profitability in its streaming division. It also took a $6 billion write-down on the value of its TV assets. That stock is still down about 30% year to date. Now, Paramount's 3 interim co-CEOs reassuring investors that they are on track to close their Skydance deal and that the combined new company will find an additional $1.5 billion in savings as it struggles with declines in its linear business, including a 48% decline in licensing revenues.
Going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we could have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting more right now with Bloomberg's Sonali Basak. Sonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Crypto Teacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, BitChute, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tanya save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tanya save New York. From COVID Stories 3. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tanya goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.